So the Super Bowl matchup has been set last night, and I know my reaction's a little bit late because I just coming back from Chicago, watching the game with friends. This was the worst outcome by far. I was really pulling for Buffalo and Eagles, but as per my predictions, I felt like this was the outcome that was going to happen. And if you saw my prediction video, this was the thing I predicted. I really wanted Buffalo to win, but and we have to sit through another Super Bowl, a repeat Super Bowl of 2 years ago. Great. That's just great. What is up, guys? Welcome back to So Back Sports, and I'm so back with another video, and I'm gonna be doing my reaction to or my post AFC Championship and NFC Championship game reaction. A little bit late than what people expected, but here we are. But before we get into that, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot. We hope to create content like this for you guys. So please just hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 600 subscribers. We can get there very soon. Hopefully by mid-February, if we can get a target date. So please hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Um, yeah, let's start with the games. So the first game, listen, as you know, my team is in the NFC, the Bears, if you haven't caught on already. Usually people would want the Commanders to win. This time, for the sake of the offseason, I felt that the Eagles should have won that, and I feel like the Eagles were the better team in this case. But the Commanders, they're very sneaky. It felt like that for the first drive, but what was really confusing about this game was that they went for it on fourth down twice in the first drive, 18 play drive, but when it was fourth down on the 20-yard line, they decide to kick the field goal. I felt like if they had gotten that touchdown to start the game, I think they would have not lost by this much. But then again, Washington was kind of outclassed in this game a lot. And it was due to the fact that Eagles had a lot of experience, especially in, you know, the playoffs. Nick Sirianni's like what, 40 and like 28 or something like that in his career at 4 years. So like, Dan Quinn, hats off to the Commanders at the end of the day, because with a rookie quarterback, and being the number 2 overall pick last season, it's impressive that you made it this far. Insanely impressive. If it will probably go down as one of the best rookie seasons of all time for a quarterback. And this team is special. They're going to build this team to be really good next season, and can't wait to see that. And eventually, Jane Daniels versus Caleb Williams rivalry will start to brew, and hopefully it's not just a Hail Mary this time. But then again, come Eagles, Saquon Barkley, man, just a beast, genuinely a specimen of a man. Because, dude, to really think how much the Eagles really held him back is nuts. Like, put him on this team with a great offensive line. He just putting up his 2,000 yards in his first season, and is already going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I get it's the NFC, but still impressive stuff from him. He was insane. First touch, immediately a touchdown. Second touch, another touchdown. I was watching this game and I'm just like, dude, dude cannot be stopped whatsoever. Jalen Hurts had himself a good game as well. Only threw for 246 passes and one touchdown. I think he had a couple rushing touchdowns as well. I think in this game they had like a total of like 6 rushing touchdowns, which like broke like an NFL record in the playoffs. Um, yeah, I mean this was just domination to say the least. Even in garbage time, they just wouldn't put down the gas. Like, I mean, Dane Daniels did all he could. It really sucked because a lot of the Commanders like plays that really costed them were just the fumbles, the 3 fumbles that they had, the bad penalties. Like, if you look at the team stats, like for the most part, rushing yards. Look at that disparity, like 99 to 200. They couldn't get the run game going whatsoever. It was all Jaden Daniels at one point, and still the Commanders were able to put up 350 yards. It was a battle of like fourth downs, like 4 out of 6 fourth downs were converted, and time of possession was pretty dead even. Fumbles lost 3. Like the 4 turnovers is gonna kill you at the end of the day if you're gonna be the Commanders because you couldn't afford to turn over the ball in this game. Um, but yeah, I thought Dayton did fine for what it was. I think a lot of things was the not the fourth down, the turnovers, the penalties. I'm pretty sure, penalty wise, I think they got 47 yards to 30, so it's not terrible. There was like an interesting thing that happened in that game where Luvu kept lunging. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I'm just like, bro, like, dude was just lunging, and he caused like the refs to implement a warning that if they continue to throw and get penalties again, that would make it an automatic touchdown for the other team. They can just award a touchdown, which is kind of insane to think about. That there's like nuances to the NFL rules, and that goes without saying. Like this whole game was just it was fun for the first half, and then the second half it was just like, okay, the Eagles, it was pretty much over. But give credit where credit is due to Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels, listen, it sucks definitely that you guys weren't able to make it to the Super Bowl in your first season, but hey, you can always build off of that. And in NFC, anything can really happen, especially if you build your team right, and that's for sure. But can't really do that in the AFC. And speaking of the AFC, let's talk about it. The game, honestly, like let's really pull the curtains up. This game was really fun. Like it was fun for the most. It was entertaining. It was like back and forth for the most part. I wanted the Bills to win this one, and in the back of my mind, I was just like, that's probably not going to happen because in starting off, Josh Allen threw almost 2 interceptions, and it was just not looking good. The Chiefs looked like they were poised, dominate, like whatnot. But I think the story that was on everyone's mind is the Chiefs and those multiple calls that went their way and could have really made a lot of the difference in this game. Listen, I was one of those people that immediately was like, "Oh, the refs," It's like it's always the refs. And yeah, it does play a role in this. Let's be really honest with ourselves. When you're really good and you get these calls, you will get a lot of scrutiny about that, and you'll get a lot of a magnifying glass. But as time goes on and time progressed, I started to realize that, you know, hey, the Bills didn't necessarily play a good game either. And, you know, especially if you realize that the refs are going to be a factor in this game, the Bills had to have a perfect game and then some. And they did not whatsoever. Who was it? They fumbled, I'm pretty sure. Um Team stats. No, actually they didn't fumble. Only the Chiefs fumbled, and yeah, penalty wise, the Bills had 6 penalties for 48 yards. Um that doesn't that's not going to cut it. And especially like that pass. Okay, let's talk about those uh questionable calls. Personally, I didn't think that was a catch by Xavier Worthy. The ball, it didn't matter if it was between the two players and it goes defers to the offense. That ball was on the ground, dude. Like straight up. And it's like, okay, fine. It's a ticky-tacky, whatever. But then you go to the Josh Allen getting like converting, trying to convert a fourth down on 4th and 1, and he clearly got it. Clearly went over the line. The line judge on one side called it, and the other one didn't, and then the other one deferred to the other. Like, and then it's just like, what are we doing here? Come on, like that's a touch. That's the first down. Let's be really honest with ourselves. And then the really thing to really encapsulate the whole game pretty much is literally at the end, Josh Allen gets an opportunity to drive downfield, and I think he was lucky he even got that opportunity. Let's really be honest ourselves. I thought he was gonna do it. There was some hope in that drive, and Kincaid should have come up with that. Even though it was a little bit of a dive, like Josh Allen was getting blitzed, insane blitz, that's typical Spags blitz, and the Spagnuolo called a really good play on fourth down. Just loaded the box and boom. And it was a very unique one where Josh couldn't pinpoint where the pressure was coming, and he moved the protection left, and it eventually broke down, and he had two people running into his face. McDuffie was wide open on the right, and it was history. He threw up a chuck. Honestly, that ball he threw was pretty solid for what he had like the options of. And Kincaid should have come up with that. He should have made the play, but it doesn't always work out that way. And the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl for the third time in a row. And listen, as much as it pains me to say, you gotta give props because while they do benefit sometimes, you can't just say that their run is luck or anything like that either. They are a pretty solid team. They are a very good team. They are coached well. They have good schemes for the most part. And yes, they have calls that go to them. But to say that they're all pure luck is far from the truth. It does benefit them, but it's not all that's not all the team. That's not just the team is just pure luck. And it's hard to admit that, but it's facts. Like, and the Chiefs are just constantly showing what it's just pushing the bar further and further um about how to really develop and have your franchise quarterback, you know, run this team, and having a good head coach that has great play calling, a great development, and having a solid defense as well really helps as well. And this Chiefs team is just a scary thing, man. It just dang, I just wish the Bills could beat them. Like, oh, being 0-4 for Josh Allen, especially seeing him on the sideline was just heartbreaking, genuinely. I just wish he had this. I really do. But oh, we're gonna get the worst matchup in the Eagles and the Chiefs. But it's not gonna be a bad matchup whatsoever. It's just gonna be like we already know what's gonna happen at this point. So yeah. That's gonna do it for my thing. Obviously it's not ideal, but can't really do much about it. Congratulations to the Chiefs. Congratulations to the Eagles, who I'm going to be rooting for. I'm still very on the fence of, but that'll be in a later video. Hopefully, I can get my predictions in next week. I'm probably going to do it then because I have a week to do so. Kind of busy this upcoming week. So that's going to do it for today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. It really helps with the algorithm. Always check out my podcast episodes every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tomorrow, I'm going to be having a podcast episode with Just Another Year Chicago Bears. So please do tune in at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time if you're free. And thank you guys so much for watching. This has been an insane season so far. A lot has happened, and we've made a lot of progress and growth of this channel. So I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. And I'm trying my best to make the content as much as enjoyable as possible for you. And I'm trying to improve as much as possible with my takes. As always, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one.